Greetings, fellow Ambazonian. The one Chairman Capo Daniel. I will continue to drop out these messages tirelessly. It doesn't matter how many times we could continue for the inform our public, for educate them, especially the soldier them on the ground, on how to conduct themselves during this wartime. The Konda titles, the dogs of war, the people the way they don't promote war crime, call for the target of collective punishment of our people for standing up for their aspiration for independence, justify the killing of Bebe Mata and other war crimes committed by the Cameroon army, which have been directly been impacted. The conduct of the Cameroon army have been impacted by this guy called Konda Titus Padia Sanga, and many of those who have been recruited as attached to the Cameroon military. You have Clovis, they have been working with the Cameroon army on the ground. When villages have been burned, when war crimes have been committed, they try to cover up on behalf of the Cameroon military and even call for collective punishment, killing of family members, and very horrible things they have done. So they are trying to continue to push their narrative, and it's very important for me to put out statement to help our people and also to educate our boys on the ground. This education is very important. The latest accusation is that Capo Daniel ordered the killing of Treasure. I think you people remember the young girl in Bamenda who was killed by the ADF. The execution was carried out by Fonte, which was a recruit of the ADF soldier, and he purportedly executed this lady. To what the information we know for sure is that Treasure was not killed. She was not executed. It was a staged execution to send a message to the people. Our people should understand that Treasure, this lady in question, is the wife of Fonte. She has a baby of Fonte. The baby is in Bamenda as I speak to you people. These soldiers had to stage a murder of an execution of this girl for her own protection to get her out of the territory. That is what happened, irrespective of the message that was put out. But I will use this opportunity to help our people to understand something. Between 2016 to 2022, the latter part of 2022, the Ambazonian cause and invocation of the right of self-defense was justified. The Cameroon military was carrying out attacks against our communities, carrying out collective punishment. They burned over 150 villages, carrying out public execution, desecration of body, and all type of heinous crimes that classify as crimes against humanity. These are well-documented facts. It justifies our invocation of the right of self-defense. In that context, we set up non-state combatants, groups that are fighting for our people to defend their land and to fight for a political solution for independence for our people. In that context, you have the right to use lethal force to defend your community. You had the right to organize forces and support forces financially, because it was an established fact by international researchers and the international communities that our communities were being attacked disproportionately by the Cameroon state army. So we had the right to fight back. During that period, anybody who participated in helping Cameroon military to carry out their mission was basically becoming part and parcel of the instrument of war of the state of Cameroon. So people who were blackleg during that period, the Ambazonian forces have the right to use even lethal force in certain circumstances. These are international war practices. The Liber principle of Germany established this for non-state actors, that if somebody is helping the enemy, you see somebody in an armored car going around showing places, you have to take action to stop that person because it is part of self-defense. It is legitimate. So anybody who is a blackleg, that means you are a spy of the Cameroon military to the degree to which you have caused damage to our people and put their rights and consider a threat, that threat must be neutralized. That is a justifiable action within the context. But from 2023, late 2023, it is also an established fact that the vast majority of violence against our own people were not committed by the Cameroon army. they were being committed by our own soldiers, Ambazonian soldiers, separatist fighters, non-state actors, non-state armed groups. In a case where the population, the threat comes from our soldiers, our population also have the rights to protect themselves against our own soldiers. They can use unorthodox means for their survivors, including using the Cameroon army. So the actions of not really spies, but people who report Ambazonian soldiers who are a threat to their community, even to the Cameroon military, is justified. But this does not apply to Ambazonian fighters who do not pose a threat to our communities, because there are fighters and fighting groups that preys on our people, that commit harassment, extortion, kidnapping, and they operate as cartels. These fighters are not involved in the fight against the Cameroon army, neither are they involved in any greater Ambazonian political objective. They don't have any political objective that is well charted for. They are not acting in self-defense any longer. They are acting as cartels that are exploiting this struggle. Our population have the right to use the Cameroon army to neutralize this threat, to organize themselves into vigilante group to protect themselves against this threat. So if our population feel threatened and that threat is justified from Ambazonian fighters, our population have the right to fight back. In that case, people who pass information to the Cameroon army cannot be considered as blacklegs, because the whole concept of blacklegs are people who provide information for the Cameroon to the Cameroon government for the purpose of supporting the Cameroon political objective, which is to suppress and subjugate our people. But people who provide this information to the Cameroon army to protect themselves and their community from abuses of Ambazonian camps that are legitimate, those people have the rights to do so. And you cannot carry out punishment to our civilians who report Ambazonian bad actors to the Cameroon army. You cannot do that. So it is justified during a justifiable self-defense operation to carry actions against spies or blackleg. It is not justified anymore, especially in cases where the Ambazonian fighters are a security threat to our people. Those cases these principles must be well addressed to our people to understand. So my country people them, I want to take the opportunity for help for educate our soldier them. For 2016 to 2020, around the time where COVID did start, international researcher them, when they be independent, they began make work for use data for show say our population they be threatened by Cameroon army, because the Cameroon army be systematically drive away people them from their village, burn people their mbanda, burn people their crops. They put their whole survival at risk. Villages were touched. More than 100 villages they be burn them. So it be show say waiting what people they be threat, the Cameroon military be na a threaten, they be threaten our people their life and their survival. So our people they be right under international law for form group them for fight back, where we form Amber Boy them for go attack Cameroon army, even use gun for kill some of them. International law justify them. We no they ever regret what we would do. It be not the right thing for do them, because statistics be justify them. Even political party them for Cameroon, individual personality them, human rights actors like Abobala, Akeremuna, even Kawala, they don't justify and say Ambazonian had the right of self-defense even against the state. So our action them during that time, it be correct. During that context, during that time where war they go on, any man way na black leg, that means say you've been a spy where you go give information for help Cameroon army, meaning no place where we avoid the way they do self-defense, then that person, you did the same like the Cameroon army, their part where they use them for fight we. During that time, because now a just fight, while Ambazonian boy then they get right for take action against you, including even kill you based on the circumstances, because you pose an imminent threat to their life and the life of our population who were under threat from La Republic to Cameroon. They begin right for doing. But from late 2023 up to now, statistics that show say our village they no be under threat again from the Cameroon army like it be before. The threat is still there, but compared to the Ambazonian fighter them, our fighter them, they don't become a threat now. They carry out more action against our people them. So for case where the threat way they threaten people their life, people they fear na Ambazonian fighter them, That people then get right for go use even Cameroon military for call them in and can attack that Ambazonian fighter them when them be problem for our society. This one be also justified when the intention for the people the way they go give that information are for protect themselves and their community against threat from Ambazonian fighter them. You know if you call that one say black leg because they need to support Cameroon their agenda. They need to support Cameroon their agenda. They simply try to protect themselves. The population get right of self-defense. For the case for that girl where they be killed and for Bamenda where they call it treasure, like the public they try to find all way for sure say Capo that need to be done commit war crime. It no matter which we will talk about social media. What matter now the fact that girl where they call and say treasure where be killed, purportedly killed by Fonte. From information we will get and will be verified. Fonte, that girl be being a Fonte a woman, then get picking together. The girl it be the sleep also Cameroon army. They be get information where they don't verify and from that girl, a confession and from a mobile phone say EBD provide active intelligence for Cameroon military and they be sending for Batibo in particular, make it go spy thing the way it happen for Batibo. The boy they be decide for stage say the rank key they get, they not be key that girl. That decision be taken by Fonte itself because the boy move that girl send her for Nigeria, may go hide for day. So they make blood for ground, then pretend say the rank key they get, they nobody key they get. So that action, I be support that action in principle because person where they go give information where they help Cameroon military for target our forces during a legitimate action of self-defense, that person it be subjected to the treatment of spies during war. So it be justified for them for take action against that girl. To what extent it be questionable. That girl no be executed. No man will not be execute that girl, but as support the elimination of black legs during a legitimate period of self-defense. Right now, the war will be fighting against Cameroon, the legitimacy is done lost because now our soldiers they attack our own population. So you know if you justify the fighting any longer. You know if you go talk for the war, say you fight now for self-defense. How you go do to defend yourself against your own when your own picking they attack you. So now the whole calculation then change. Now either way we also need to change our own posture. Now either we need to look for other way than for advance our people their right. We not fit use the same way the formula then change. So I want to make that one maybe very important because it go help for educate our boy them for ground zero. Say if we are there for ADF group or some group the way they instead focus now only for making the thief money, they do other things than for abuse our population. The population get the right to defend themselves against una, even use Cameroon army. But for Ambazonian forces, the way they do the right thing, they don't take posture where they protect the public interest. No man no fit justify say you go call some person may can attack those people them. No, because then they not for una back. So all man need for know say the population, they are right, it be ultimate, it be that the thing we must stand for. We must stand for public interest, not be for individual interest or group interest. Whatever we do it need for being for our people them. The action that will take them for self-defense will stand by those actions and we go do them again if our population will be under attack. We will do the same thing again. We will defend our population against the Cameroon state, against the Cameroon army, if then decide for begin the attack or punish our people then collectively for begin carry out atrocity, then we'll get right for defend ourselves. So I need to put this one for outside so that make una understand and make it be very good for educate our population. We are human rights activists. I come for this struggle and I will fight for human rights. I will never support the abuse of innocent people. The killing of black leg when a fake black leg just for send message like the one where the ADF they be doing for Gozan, where they go catch innocent people then for kill them just because the one send message. That one is a war crime. You cannot kill somebody, carry out summary execution just because of accusation. No. Before you want to carry out action, you get the duty for investigate for make sure that the allegation is established. And you get a duty for make sure that the person be confronted with the accusations and the evidence the way it be against it. You need for account to our public. So why the killing of people in Gozang is a war crime? Because those people were innocent people. They were not engaged in any treasonous activity, but they were simply killed because Ayabacho and Lucas and their group wanted to send out a message to terrorize the population. That one is not acceptable. But in a case where somebody was actually a blackleg, then that person has put themselves in jeopardy and become a threat to the population and become a threat to our soldiers. the soldiers have to defend themselves and the population. So we have to make this distinction. We need to distinguish those legitimate actions from illegitimate actions, and for make our population and our soldiers then be clear on the matter. Say treason is not acceptable, betrayal is not acceptable, betrayal of our public trust, betrayal of our soldiers is not acceptable. But the soldiers also and our groups betraying the public trust is also not acceptable. There will be consequences on both sides, but we must work on principle, we must work on sound judgment, we must work on conduct that befits our people's trust and the dignity of our people that we stand for. God bless you all.